So I had a conversation with a blue belt after we rolled yesterday.
Okay.
And I shared a piece of feedback for him that is something that I learned from a great teacher many years ago. And I actually wanted to run it by you and get your take on this.
Intriguing. Let's go.
Let me set the context.
Please.
So, I coach a little bit. This guy is a really good blue belt, lovely fella. I won't mention his name. He knows who he is. But big guy, right? He's probably 100 kilos, 105, something like that, right? Big, has a hard time finding people that he can go hard with.
Right.
And so we've established you can go as hard as you want with me. And so I know that when we get to train, when I'm coaching him or at the same class, that he's going to want to roll with me.
Yes.
And so it doesn't happen often. And I finished the class, we wrapped it up, and then I was like, hey, do you want to do an extra round? He's like, and he, as I was saying to him, he's like, yes, and I was like,
already there, yeah.
So we did a round. It was great. Super strong guy, good jits coming along. He, I passed his guard.
Right.
And then, had him in side control for a bit and then eventually armbarred him. Right. Now, 6-minute round. There's 1 minute, 30 seconds left on the clock. Right, we come up from the tap, cool, reset. And, we don't get up.
Oh.
He says to me, what do I need to do there when, that armbar, what should I have done? Right? Very reasonable question.
Fair.
So I'm like, oh, well, it's me bringing the leg over the head. That's a real problem. So if you could be looking for a way to not let that, blah, blah, blah. And so, and he's like, oh, yeah, cool. And so let's just have a look at that, and did a little bit. And then we get up and there's 15 seconds left.
It's done.
In the round, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. We slapped hands or something and, did a little push-pull, and then it was over. And it got me thinking. I was like, man, that 6 minutes that we get is you need to treasure that.
It's precious.
Right? Especially given the context.
Yes.
You don't get to see me often. Big guy, go hard on me. Here we are. Let's do it.
Yes.
And I said, while I think your question about defending the armbar is a great thing to ask, I don't think you should be doing that in the middle of us doing the thing.
Agreed.
I'm like, you should just roll with me for 6 minutes. You should have just got up, been like, okay, you armbarred me. I'm going to get it back.
Yep.
I'm going to whatever. Go hard for the next 90 seconds, and then let's have the conversation.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question is that the right approach?
Yeah.
Or?
So, but then I thought, well, maybe, and that's my approach. But then I thought, well, maybe that really cemented, maybe I try and armbar him next time, and it's really cemented for him the defense on the armbar. Maybe now, because he did ask me immediately following the event, maybe that's really solidified for him. So I was like, I don't actually know then. Maybe your approach was great as well. What's your take?
Okay, so my take on that, I believe there is actually some research that shows that the immediacy of the feedback is important to the learning, right? So as soon as you can correct a mistake, that then really gets it in the system.
The potent moment.
Yeah, that's when you're most receptive because you're like, what? Come on, solve my problem. But here's also the other side of that is learning and doing are not, even though, Souders might disagree with me, the learning and the doing are not the same. You shouldn't be learning when you're executing. There should be no thinking. In the moment of execution, it should just be no thought.
They're separate processes.
Yeah, they are separate processes. So as long as it's, maybe that's the conversation you've got to have with your man, is no, when we're rolling, we're rolling. I'm not teaching you at this point. The teaching is me beating the f*** out you, bro. You getting this lesson. Save your questions for after. And because there is only a limited amount of time, and in that time you got to work. So yeah, for me, it's like trying to give someone feedback while they're squatting. That's distracting. That's not good. Even though it's obviously that's more rudimentary than the complexity of rolling.
Same kind of scenario.
Yeah, you've got to, in the moment of doing, you need to be focusing on, there's so many variables that when you start bringing in questions and feedback, it just, I personally believe that is not the time to learn. Immediately post-training is money. But I believe that execution and learning, even though they inform each other, it should not be done at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly my thinking. And that brings me to, so that was the lesson, the rule that I learned, right? So it was from Ido Portal. He mentioned this at a movement camp years ago. And he actually got it from, I thought I'd share this because it's quite fascinating. John Cage's top 10 rules for students.
Okay.
Right?
Awesome.
Now, I didn't know at the time who John Cage was, but he was an artist, philosopher, and an influential composer of the 20th century.
Wow.
He's credited for writing a set of rules for creativity purposes.
Cool.
So he's got these 10 rules. And I thought, okay, so you'll hear the rule that is relevant to it. But I thought, let me just read them all because there's some cool ones in here.
Some gems.
Rule 1, find a place you trust and then try trusting it for a while. Rule 2, general duties as a student. Pull everything out of your teacher. Pull everything out of your fellow students. Rule 3, general duties as a teacher. Pull everything out of your students. Rule 4, consider everything an experiment. Rule 5, be self-disciplined. This means finding someone wise or smart and choosing to follow them. To be disciplined is to follow in a good way. To be self-disciplined is to follow in a better way.
Oof.
Rule 6, nothing is a mistake. There is no win and no fail. There is only make.
Oh.
Rule 7, the only rule is work. If you work, it will lead to something. It is the people who do all the work all the time who eventually catches on to things. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Rule 8, do not try to create and analyze at the same time. They are different processes, which is exactly what I said to old mate and what you just said. Rule 9, be happy whenever you can manage it. Enjoy yourself. It is lighter than you think. Rule 10, quote, we are breaking all the rules, even our own rules. And how do we know that? By leaving plenty of room for X qualities. That's a quote from John Cage.
Right.
Helpful hints added to the bottom of that. Always be around. Come or go to everything. Always go to classes. Read everything you can get your hands on. Look at movies carefully and often. Save everything. It may come in handy later.
Nice.
That's some pretty cool rules.
Yeah, it's great. I think there's a lot to be taken from that for life in general.
I like that. You know, there's a lot in that actually that speaks to what we've passed on, how we've responded in a lot of our Q&As. But that one, find a place you can trust and try trusting it for a while.
Yeah.
Right? It's like just find it. Seems okay. Have faith. Stick with it.
Yeah. The hardest thing for all of this is the time it takes to cultivate anything, whether it's a skill, a relationship, a physical quality. It's our ability to stay in it even when the outcomes are not obvious. You know, there's a gestation phase in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, off that, I guess like, you know, say we're talking about that scenario that I had with my mate. There's a sacrifice. You're always sacrificing something. So for him to stop the roll and ask me the technical question, he sacrificed whatever could have been experienced in the rest of the roll.
Yes.
Perhaps what he gained was more valuable than that.
Perhaps,
right? But also, had he have just continued rolling, there was something to be gained from that. But he might have sacrificed the ability to learn the bit of technique that he really needed.
True.
So there it is.
That's nice. That's a good lesson.
Hey fam, get your hands on these Bulletproof t-shirts. You can get them at fanwear.com.au. Bunch of colors. You get discount if you get multiple. Rep the tribe. We'll see you somewhere.
Peace.